what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy. There's another reason why you should be excited about Garrett Nussmeier and Coach Joe Sloan being in constant communication because, well, they have a great relationship. Here's what he had to say, because we kind of glaze over this a bit, but it is insane. It is insane that LSU had the offense that it did last year, top 5 in the entire country, with the Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels, a man who put together the best statistical Heisman winning season since, I think we went all the way back to like 73 and compared it, and like nobody did what he did in such a varied sense. Of course, Burrow and, guys like Mac Jones, it's pretty overwhelming numbers as well. He didn't win the Heisman, but again, Jaden Daniels, mind-blowing last year. Offense, mind-blowing. And yet, your OC leaves, and doesn't really leave of his own volition. Leaves because you come to your OC and you say, hey, we want you to become co-OC. And he's saying, well, hold up now. Hold up. What's going on here? I just engineered the best offense in the entire country, and all of a sudden, I'm supposed to accept a shared job title with a young upstart like Joe Sloan. Why is that? That's my quarterback coach. I called the plays. And I have it on pretty good authority that, Mike Denbrock was upset with Brian Kelly about this proposition. And he chose to go to Notre Dame. And we just kind of hand-waved it away. But that's a pretty shockingly major change, losing your OC and putting a new one with so much is riding on this year 3 and working a new quarterback. However, one of the reasons why Brian Kelly proposed this change in the first place, I believe, is because, well, on one hand, Joe Sloan is one of the fast risers in terms of an offensive mind and modern college football, and you try to keep those guys in-house and make them happy and keep them around. And also, I think he had an incredible relationship with Garrett Nussmeier, also Bryce Underwood. Remember, we talked about Bryce Underwood's quotes about Joe Sloan and how it's more than just football. It's like family, blah, blah, blah. But here's what Garrett Nussmeier had to say about Coach Sloan. At first, he says, what do y'all do? He says, we continue to do the same work we've been doing, continue to take it day by day and get better each and every day. I love Coach Sloan. I wouldn't want to play for anybody else. I value your relationship a whole lot, and I don't believe there's anybody else in the country that will be able to get me more ready to play just based on our relationship and how much he knows me and how much he knows to push me and make me better. He's probably harder on me than anybody, and I'm okay with that because it pushes me. Really appreciate that. So again, you see the maturity that we reference when we talk about Garrett Nussmeier right there. I think anytime, look, there's no one pathway to success. And I don't mind if a player needs a more gentle coaching style. But I tend to, if we're just talking preferences, I tend to prefer guys who want to be MF'd a little bit, who want to be pushed, you want to be challenged, you want to be told that your crap does indeed stink and you need to fix it. And Garrett Nussmeier seems like that sort of player, right? There's an honesty there. And one of the most attractive parts about him and Coach Sloan's relationship is that he is going to push him. And he's not just going to accept mediocrity or laziness or lackadaisiality. And I think that could only pay positive dividends in the future. And so now that relationship is able to work even better in concert on the field because of the in-helmet communication. When I talk about Garrett Nussmeier, I'm always mentioning the drive against Wisconsin. 6 minutes left, 94 yards. Well, he was asked about that at Manning Pass Academy. Here's what he said. When your back's against the wall like that, you can't really think about much. You just take it play by play. Can't think about the situation. Can't think about what's going on. You just focus on executing. I know that's something I've been trying to work on a lot as I've grown up, like we talked about earlier, just growing up from 2 years ago. And now I was just doing my job and doing things the way I'm coached to do them. I guess you could say it was kind of cool, and it really was. But I'd say we're excited for this season to get to be out there to play again. And look, that is what the greats do. I always think back to the Last Dance documentary. And I think the most impactful, most important part of the Last Dance documentary about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan was hearing people describe Michael Jordan's ability to be present. Because it's near impossible to be present when you have the anxiety of the future or the regret of the past weighing down upon you. It's very hard to do in any facet of life. However, that present frees you from the anxiety of the future and the regrets of the past. And in a sporting sense, I say superpower because it's something that just gives you an advantage over anybody that you're facing. It suddenly doesn't matter if you make or miss the shot because all that matters is doing the correct steps to get to the shot. And then you just shoot it and you see what happens. And you let the chips fall where you may. So Garrett Nussmeier is staring down a 94-yard field and he's not focusing on what happens if I don't get this done. And we lose to Tanner Mordecai and Wisconsin. And you go 9-4 in a year in which you had a Heisman winner, thanks to an all-time bad defense. I mean, the entire temperature of the offseason is wholly different than what it ended up being. He had an entire year's worth of work. Because what is the saving grace for this year for Brian Kelly for last year? It's that you won 10 games. This man had an entire year's worth of work and an offseason's worth of narrative hanging over his head in that moment. And he wasn't worried about failure, but he also wasn't worried about what happens if I pull it off. The glories to be attained. No. Quote, can't think about the situation, can't think about what's going on. You just focus on executing. That's what the greats do. One snap and clear. Be present. Be where your feet are. Don't focus on the next play. Be focused on this play. What is the next action that you have to take in order to achieve your set out goals? And hearing him be cognizant of that presence, of not letting the settings get to you as a player, I think that's massive. And I think that's probably the most important trait that you can have at that position. Like there is no other position where presence matters more than that of quarterback. So I'm excited, man. I'm very excited for Garrett Nussmeier, and I think you should be as well. And every little tidbit that we get from him in the media or how he's both performed and spoken at Manning Passing Academy continues to shovel coal into the proverbial hype train. Wow, Jake. What incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.